Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to all of you watching us at the first ever Global Sources online show. It's a very big privilege to be talking in front of all of you today. My name is DJ Alice, and I am hailing all the way from the Philippines. First, before I start, I would just like to thank Global Sources for having me as one of their keynote speakers on today's historic event. And speaking of historic, I mean, what could be more historic than the times we're living at the moment? The coronavirus pandemic has definitely changed the way we live. There are so many normal things that we can't do anymore, like having face to face conversations, shopping, dining, so many other things that we definitely miss at the moment that we can't do anymore. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but I actually miss working at the office because for the longest time, for 4 months now, I've been working at home, and it's really different when you're working at home versus in the office. And I know that a lot of companies all around the world have also shifted to that sort of lifestyle as to put health and safety as the top priority. I actually want to give proof of that. So if you two are working from home and if you can relate to me, go on and raise your hand or probably write a comment at our comment section so that I know that you're also very much relating to what I am saying at the moment. I know that for a lot of us working at home, it's really not the easiest thing as there are so many distractions all around us and it's very hard to be productive. So let me tell you about how you can actually maximize the time that you have at home and how you can maximize your experience so that you can get to make sure that you effectively create content at home. So for today, I'll be tackling the following topics. First is live streaming and video call essentials. What could be more essential than Zoom for working from home, right? So today we'll be talking about how you can maximize your Zoom or your video conference experience. Second, the must-haves if you are an aspiring content creator or if you're already a content creator, you would definitely know what I'm talking about. We'll get to that later. Now I want to tell you about our third topic, and I know how hard it is to be productive since you're just at home. So I'll be giving you some tips based on experience. I'll be giving you some life hacks and some productivity tips so that you get to maximize your work from home experience. And as a cherry on top, I'll be giving you some tips on how to dress appropriately when working from home. Yes, there are still some rules when it comes to dressing up for working from home. So I'll tell you about that later. And I know that you won't take advice from just anyone. So let me give you a little shameless plug here and tell you a little more about myself. Well, I'm Alice. I've been working as a radio DJ for Wish 1075 for almost 6 years now. I'm also a VJ for Wish 1075's YouTube channel, currently the #1 FM YouTube channel in the Philippines with over 8.8 million subscribers all around the world. I also had a short stint on TV, and on the side, I work as a voice talent and also an events host. And take it from someone who is from the entertainment industry, we really did take a big blow when it comes to this whole pandemic because, of course, there are no live gigs, no live events, no face-to-face interviews, no concerts. So we have been pushed to adapt and to do all of the things that we usually do in the comfort of our own home and virtually, of course. So in my case, I go live on Facebook to do my radio shows and I interview artists and do everything else live through Zoom in the comfort of my own home. So that gives me credibility to talk about the topics I'm going to discuss with you today. And yes, you heard that right. I do it from my own home studio, but don't worry, you don't need a fancy home studio to make quality content. For starters, here is a rundown of the 6 basic things you would need for video conferences and live streaming. So first, you would need a trusty laptop or computer. If it's just a quick meeting or if you're just an attendee that will just listen in, you might get away with your smartphone or your tablet, but I personally recommend the use of a laptop or a computer because with just one device, you get to access so many features. You get to multitask, you get to use your messaging apps, you get to write some notes and share some presentations and so on. I know you get what I mean. And also, most laptops nowadays and computers come with built-in cameras and webcams. So that's going to save you a lot of cash. So yes, that would be a big plus, especially when it comes to this pandemic where funds are tight. And also, if you have a big screen, you would get to be immersed in the whole experience of talking to another person. So that's going to give you, well, the closest thing to a face to face conversation. As for our second essential, if your laptop or computer doesn't really come with a camera, of course you have to invest in a webcam or an external camera. But don't be intimidated, not all cameras are expensive. There are HD webcams that would definitely be on the range of your budget, so just look for the best one that would work for you and position it in eye level so that you can get to uphold eye contact like what I am doing with you at the moment. Okay, we move on to our third essential. It is good lighting. I know that most homes are really not that well lit, so you would need artificial light sources. You can invest in a ring light, which I have and which I am using at the moment. I'm sorry I can't show you, but you know what it is. And you can also invest when it comes to lamps or other light sources, as I said. But if you have access to natural lighting, that would also be good. But when the sky turns dark and when the sun sets, of course, you would need artificial light. So, yes, you will still have to invest on artificial lighting. I can't stress enough the importance of good lighting because that would definitely give you a good impression. That would definitely help you in attracting those prospective clients. I mean, who would want to talk? And who would want to see someone who's in a completely dark room, right? So, yes, that's something that would help you get your point across. Make sure that you have good lighting in the setting of your video calls. As for our fourth essential, you would need headphones or earphones. Audio tends to be underestimated when it comes to video conferences, but it is a very crucial element. The effectiveness of your video call relies on audio as much as it does on the video or the visuals, because when it comes to sound, of course, you have to make sure that it is of audible quality. You have to make sure that you understand what the other person is saying. That's the most important thing when it comes to meetings. And yes, it's important too that you get to be, immersed in this whole conversation that you have, and you don't get to be distracted with all of the other sounds that are surrounding you at home. So if you can invest on noise canceling headphones or earphones that would, of course, block you from the rest of the world. And yes, you can also invest on wireless and Bluetooth earphones so that you can freely move around and so that you don't risk, getting caught up in the cables surrounding you. And if you have earphones and headphones that actually come with mics, that will also be a big plus, as you'll also save up and you'll have a device that would, be of double purpose. But if your headphones or earphones don't come with a mic, it would be important that you also invest in one, which brings us to our fifth item. Our fifth essential is a microphone. There are different forms of microphones that you can use. Some aren't really that expensive, but I would recommend a USB microphone with a mic stand like the one I have right here that would support the use on laptops, smartphones, tablets, and other gadgets so that you get the best value for money and convenience as well. And last but not the least, make sure that you have this final essential, because if you don't, this is going to be your downfall. No one wants a choppy video. So make sure that you have a stable internet connection. So you can actually boost your internet connection by getting a Wi-Fi extender, a long-range router, or an Ethernet cable connected to your device directly so that you make sure that your internet connection will not fail you in the middle of a video call. As promised, on top of those video conferences and live stream essentials, if you want to take it up a notch and try out being a content creator, influencer, or vlogger, here are some additional things that you will need on top of the things I just mentioned. You would need a smartphone with a high quality camera so that you can take HD photos wherever you might be, and so that you can also take videos. And easier access to social media and other applications would also be a big advantage. And lastly, a professional camera if you want to create even more high quality videos, vlogs, and photos. And if you want to curate your feed, then definitely you would need a professional camera. And there we go. Those are the essentials for video calls, live streaming, vlogging, and everything in between. But we're just at the tip of the iceberg, because the most vital part of creating content at home is you, the one who is in front of the camera and the microphone. And in order for you to come up with substantial content, you have to be in the right headspace for it. I know that working from home and working remotely needs a lot of motivation and discipline. So here are some productivity hacks that might come in handy. So number one, you have to set up a workspace, go for comfort and function, free from distractions, but also comfortable enough to do some work. You can set up a work table with a cozy chair and a professional looking background. You can also decorate if that helps boost your morale. As for our second reminder or hack, you can actually make a to do list or a schedule with all of the distractions surrounding you at home. It's important to have a clear set of priorities. So please keep that to do list and that schedule in mind so that you don't get sidetracked. As for our third productivity hack, you have to take brain breaks. Just as you would in a regular office setup, just have coffee, some tea, or a snack. A few minutes away from your screen wouldn't really hurt you. It will actually help you process information better. And in between tasks, also, you get to reduce stress levels. As for my fourth productivity hack for you, take a shower or refresh to restart. Treat work at home as a regular work day. You have to be ready for work each day. And to help you to keep a consistent routine, you have to make sure to reset with that very, very refreshing shower or face wash so that you can give your productivity a push. As for our fifth hack, you can take care of yourself, not can, but you have to take care of yourself. Don't neglect yourself when you are working from home, especially your physical and mental well being. You can meditate, you can exercise, you can listen to music, you can do whatever works for you, and you can prevent being burnt out and uphold your motivation if you do so. And for our final productivity hack, you have to dress the part. Because if you're dressed for bed, obviously your mind will think that it's bedtime and you'll be so sleepy that you can actually work. So wear a toned down version of what you usually do at work. And then that would give you the right mindset, the right mood to actually be productive and get some work done. I know one way or another, we are all guilty of not following the last item. I know that a big number of you viewing this online show at the moment are most likely all dressed up on top, but only wearing shorts, boxers, or sweats with slippers as I speak. Don't even try to deny it, okay? So this leaves me to our last topic. You have to have the right look to seal the deal. Dressing up to work from home isn't necessarily about wearing the same clothes you would at the office. Just imagine working from home and wearing a suit and tie. That would definitely not be comfy. It's about finding a happy medium. Many of us are more confident and happier when we like our outfits. Therefore, dressing right would inspire us to work better. So here are some do's when it comes to your work from home attire. Remember to wear solid and bold colored clothing. Wear appropriate bottoms, as I said, or you can risk embarrassing mishaps and be the next trending meme when you are made to move or stand. I know no one would want that, right? So the next one is follow your company's dress code. If they have given you some guidelines, that would be a big help. And next, have a neat hairstyle. Don't come to the stream or don't come to your video call with wet hair, and just make sure that your hair is not covering your face. Next is natural looking makeup. Don't overdo it. Don't be all dressed up for a show if it's just a simple video call or if it's just a meeting. And lastly, wear minimal accessories because it could get entangled with your wires or other equipment. Here's another pro tip. Sit up straight, avoid fidgeting or moving around too much, as that's going to be a source of distraction. And you can also spray on your everyday perfume. Scent is a very powerful thing. We all have specific scents that would remind us of certain memories. So spraying your perfume can give you a sense of normality and familiarity also pre-coronavirus. As for the don'ts, here are the things you have to be mindful of. Number one, never go on fresh from bed or still wearing your pajamas. I mean, I think that's a no-brainer. Number two, unruly tresses or hair fresh from the shower. Don't go on if your hair is still dripping with water or if you still haven't combed it. Number three, avoid clothes with distracting patterns, plaids, or stripes. Number four, don't wear plain white because that's going to make the whole video overexposed. As for number five, avoid wearing strapless or plunging necklines. You could appear topless when cropped on video, and you can also risk the exposure of other private parts if your camera is positioned above you. And lastly, try not to overdo it with the fancy accessories and makeup. Again, it's a video call. Treat it as a regular conversation. You wouldn't want to be overdressed or overdone for it, okay? So the key here really is to dress simply. Though you want to dress to impress, eye-catching outfits and accessories and makeup can definitely be distracting on video. Fancy isn't really necessary, but clean and neat are. You don't need to wear a suit and a tie, as I said a while ago, to be professional. You want the focus to be on you and what you have to say. So dress smart and keep yourself centered in the image as well. So don't overthink it when it comes to being on camera. Just be you. Online conferences have transformed into our new normal, our daily way of communicating because of the pandemic. So, just like texting, just like chatting in person, and just like working online and offline, what matters is who you are and what you have to say. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much, Global Sources, for having me, and thank you all for bearing with me. This has been DJ Alice. Stay connected with me through DJ Alice 1075 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also listen to my radio shows live at wish1075.com, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, Wish FM 1075 Official. And with that, I officially end my presentation. I hope you learned a thing or two. Keep safe and have a great day.